What's up, guys? Today we're going to be checking out Amsterdam just closed the busiest road. I mean, bro, I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're about to find out here today. I mean, closing the busiest road there must be a reason, for what reason is this happened? So, I don't know. Let's get on with it. Let's see what we got, guys. If you're new to the channel, here we do reactions around Netherlands mainly. So if you're into that, guys, stick around, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's get on with the video and see what we got.
This is Weesperstraat in Amsterdam. It's an unusually wide road, at least by Amsterdam standards. This road was built in the 1960s during a time when Amsterdam was inviting American traffic planners as consultants in an attempt to reinvent itself as a car-friendly city.
Okay.
The 1960s were not a good time for cities, and a lot of people's homes were bulldozed to build this road.
Wow.
Every day,
I mean, it must be horrible just to knock down your home just to like build roads or whatever they want to build. I mean, they must get something out of it, but either way, it's getting your home getting like put down. It's not really a nice thing, I would say.
Brings in about 27,000 cars right through the center of the city, so they did what any reasonable municipality would do. They blocked it off to car traffic.
Of course.
There are many streets in the Netherlands where access for cars has been cut off. This is called a knip, literally a cut. In English, urban planners call these modal filters because they filter what kind of traffic can go through. Typically, people walking and cycling can pass without issues, while car drivers cannot.
I mean, since there's a lot of cycling people around, it's probably better to close down some roads just for cyclists. Maybe easier for them to get around places through the city, like through the secret streets and that sort of stuff.
Public transit and emergency vehicles are always allowed as well. And sometimes delivery vehicles are permitted, usually during certain times of the day. This is the standard method that the Netherlands uses to prevent people from driving through a neighborhood, and they make the streets safer and more enjoyable for everyone who lives there. So these modal filters are really nothing unusual for Amsterdam, at least for streets. But Weesperstraat is not a street, it is a road. While streets are destinations, places where people live, work, and shop, roads like this one have only one purpose: to move as many motor vehicles as possible.
Okay.
You can watch my video about stroads to learn more about the purposes of streets versus roads. So this knip is a bold move, even for Amsterdam, because it's the first one to happen on a major road. They have also blocked off some parallel routes to prevent rat running, where drivers cut through adjacent neighborhoods to avoid traffic. And at each knip, there is a portable barrier with someone working there to redirect any drivers who try to go through. Right now, this is just a test. The municipality has been planning this for years, but they wanted to do it right, by carefully studying the impact on traffic, noise, and pollution.
Okay, just before we continue, I just want to see, like, this video was posted 2 months ago, so I'm probably guessing this is something that happened recently. So yeah, let me know if you know anything about this. Let me know in the comments, guys.
So Weesperstraat is currently only closed to car traffic for 6 weeks, and only from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., and the city is studying the results during that time. As you approach the gates on Weesperstraat, the road goes from 2 lanes down to 1, with these flower planters taking up the center lane. This looks kind of ridiculous, of course, but there's only so much you can do to make a car sewer look pretty for 6 weeks. In the center of the road...
I mean, at least they thought about how it looks before doing anything, bro.
There's this little pavilion with some artificial grass and picnic tables. And community events are being held here during the project. This is being done to help people visualize what a future redesign of this space could look like, and to really highlight just how much space is currently devoted to moving cars. There are currently no plans for a permanent design, but the municipality has published a few examples of what the road could look like in the future.
Wow, that looks pretty cool. A lot of green.
Of course, emergency vehicles are always allowed through. Emergency vehicles are being slowed by the gates, but on the flip side, they're not getting stuck in traffic, and there will be fewer car crashes, too.
That is true, bro.
I'm really curious to see the data on emergency response times through this area before and after the knip.
Yeah, I want to know that as well. I mean, Well, I think it would be like much faster to that way. I mean, because there's no traffic. Okay, they have to wait a few minutes till the barrier opens up and they go through. But bro, they miss out on so much traffic. So just imagine how much time was saved from like having no traffic. I mean, it's a game changer.
To be honest, though, I'm kind of annoyed that these gates are needed at all, because the only reason they're even there in the first place is because of entitled motorists. When Oslo blocked off part of their city center to through traffic, they had to install gates with expensive cameras to read license plates, which is really frustrating. None of this should be necessary, but it is, because there's a handful of drivers who think they're more important than everyone else. In order to even get here, all of these drivers needed to ignore several signs telling them to turn around. On the bright side, the first thing you immediately notice when coming here is that it is so much quieter. I've been through this area many times over the past few years, and it is always very loud and unpleasant.
No cars at
all.
That is
you can actually hear other things beyond the constant roar of motor vehicles. Just another reminder that cities aren't loud, cars are loud, and cities without cars are quiet.
That is so true.
Ultimately, Amsterdam is planning to become a city with a lot fewer cars. The long-term plan for Amsterdam is to become a nearly car-free city.
Wow.
And having tens of thousands of motor vehicles coming into the city via this road runs...
If that actually works out, I mean, just imagine how quiet the city would be. Just think about it, bro. Pretty cool, right?
...counter to that plan. Especially when all of those cars move less than a quarter as many people as the subway that runs directly under this road. Subways are a lot better than roads at moving large numbers of people.
Yep.
And there are plenty of alternatives available for people from out of town, such as trains, but also Park and Ride, which are car garages on the periphery of the city where people can park their cars for only €1 per day if they take public transit into the city center. The city has provided many carrots, but eventually they'll need the sticks if they are ever going to become a nearly car-free city. So the issue is not if Weesperstraat becomes car-free, it's when. And it's clear that the Amsterdam City Council wants that to be sooner rather than later. But nevertheless, this is still a pretty major step, and I am genuinely impressed that the City Council has done this, because everybody knows this will cause a lot of traffic and confusion in the short term, and the right-wingers will be all over it. And of course, they did not disappoint. Right from day one, every right-wing journalist, politician, and $8 blue check was immediately claiming that the Knip was a colossal failure.
$8 blue check.
And many of them have been very, let's say, loose with the truth. Oh no, who's going to pick up Grandma? And I totally didn't have to add an extra stop in the middle of the tunnel to create this totally real scenario. Most people choose and need the car. In this part of Amsterdam where 70% of households are car-free. It should be noted that the city is not off-limits to car traffic due to the Knip, but only to through traffic. All areas accessible by car before are still accessible now, but if you want to go from the north to the south or vice versa, you have to take the highway instead of driving right through the middle of the city.
Pretty cool.
Needless to say, this brought out the people who claim that, actually, this causes more pollution because cars need to go a longer distance and get stuck in traffic. I've heard this argument so many times in Canada as well, and it just makes me laugh. These drivers are always really concerned about the pollution caused by their cars, but only when they're not allowed to drive wherever they want, whenever they want, and as fast as they want. At all other times, they don't give a shit. At least not enough to actually do anything that makes them drive less.
Wow.
The truth is that Amsterdam has too many cars.
Just people being smart, I guess.
It's actually unusual how car-friendly the center of Amsterdam is compared to many other cities in the Netherlands, or even Germany for that matter. And most Amsterdammers are very much in favor of the municipality's plan to build a nearly car-free city. Ultimately, this is yet another example of the age-old problem of the personal convenience of driving for an individual driver coming up against the health, safety, and comfort of the people who live in the area that's being driven through. The vast majority of whom don't even own cars. So, despite what the people who don't live in Amsterdam but think they're entitled to drive through the center of Amsterdam think, at this point, It's too early to say if this KNIP has been a success or a failure. We need to wait for the trial to complete, for the data on traffic, noise, and pollution to be analyzed.
Needs
and I will
time
make
to
a follow-up
actually
video
see
on
the
that
results.
when the results are in. Ultimately, it takes time for drivers to adjust to new road layouts, for people to change their travel habits, and for sat-navs to update.
That is so true, bro. That is so true. I mean, having the same, like, road every single day, like, say, from A to B every single day, like, from your home to your work, you know, like, this is the route I'm going to take. And then suddenly, it all changes. I mean, it's not very comfortable, I would say. You have to get used to it and that sort of stuff, but it is what it is, I guess.
Time goes on and traffic patterns change, people start to get used to the cleaner air, quieter city, and safer streets, and they start to forget that the car sewer was ever there. Nobody wants this road through Museumplein to come back, when it looks like this today.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The KNIP is definitely not problem-free, of course. The city cut off parallel routes, but there is currently too much traffic going down Kattenburgerstraat, a nearby street, and this is one of the streets that the city is monitoring during the project. The right-wing politicians were very quick to jump on this increase in traffic as a reason to stage protests and to demand that the project be cancelled immediately instead of waiting for 6 weeks.
What does that say? I have no idea. Probably something to, like, be against the actual project.
I visited Kattenburgerstraat in the morning rush hour, and I definitely saw a lot of traffic here. Though a few minutes later, it looked like this. I suspect there's an increase in traffic here, but I really don't see how anyone can say that this traffic is so bad that it justifies canceling a 6-week experiment that's been in planning for years. I want to see what the official traffic counts are before and after, especially since we know traffic will be bad at the beginning of the project, and that this street in particular has had bad traffic for years, even without the KNIP. We all knew that right-wing politicians would be calling for the KNIP to be stopped immediately, but ultimately, I don't think these people are actually scared of traffic jams. I think they're scared that this might actually work. That it might make the city safer, cleaner, and more livable for the residents of Amsterdam, and after realizing just how great it was to have all the cars gone, they won't want them to come back. And nothing scares the car lobbyists more than people realizing they'd be better off without them.
There you go.
There's a lot of science that goes into traffic engineering projects, and I think the world could use more orange-pilled engineers building better cities. So if you're interested in a career in mathematics or engineering,
and I think here it just goes on with an ad of of whatever they're sponsoring. Anyway, wow, I mean, interesting video. I really do want to see the results of this when there's actually a video available on it. You guys do find the video actually showing the results and what actually happened with this project, do let me know on my Discord, guys. If you're not part of our Discord, link will be below in the description, so go join that as well, guys. And yeah, that's about it for today's video. If you enjoyed, guys, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the channel. And I guess that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.